Okay, so on MiamiRealtor.com, the first place that I want to show you and let you know that we have available is going to be towards the bottom. This is your Miami Gateway. This is where you can click and sign on. If you've never signed on before, your username will be your license number. Your password will be your license number. And the system will go ahead and prompt you so that you can update that password. I see that Justin has inputted his information in the chat. If you can hear me all right, so that I know that audio is okay, say good morning in the chat so we know that you are here and that you can hear me. Good morning, Carmen. Welcome. And thank you. Good morning. All right. So from MiamiRealtor.com, now that we know where it is that we can click to access our Miami Gateway, we do want to also let you know that on MiamiRealtor.com, there is an MLS page. You want to be aware of this page. I'm going to give it a click. And I'm going to give you an overview. We do focus on this page in Matrix 401, but so that you can review, this is your Miami MLS Resource Center. So all things associated with having to list, sell, or rent property, rules and regulations, forms, they can all be found on this page, MiamiRealtors.com/MLS. You have access to your rules and regulations, your MLS policies, your MLS fines. This is a great way for you to realize the do's and don'ts when working inside of the MLS. On the right side of this page, you have the right resources. If you need tips to doing your job on a virtual level, then the right resources right now is a fantastic place for you to start. It's going to give you information about virtual open houses, tours, showings, meetings, etc. You can also find upcoming MLS classes on this page. So as you can see today, guys, you are taking Matrix X 201 with one home. We are going to be talking about searching, finding, and customizing inside of this class. We also will have commercial MLS class, which is going to be available in Spanish on the 25th. So if you want to dip your toe in commercial, we do have classes for that. Towards the middle, you do have hot topics, and some of those hot topics that I want to bring to your attention is going to be the fair housing advertising guidelines. You want to be aware of these. So click here after class and preview this information. And on the left-hand side, these are all of the different MLS options that you have. So when you first start, you will have the decision to make between Rapatoni and MLS. I always suggest to take a class in each, see which one you prefer before making that decision. You do have 30 days. As a new agent, I also like to let you guys know that you should probably go with the MLS that your office uses, only because that's going to be your main resource of help. So you want to make sure that they can easily assist you. So you have Rapatoni and Matrix that you're going to choose from, but you do have MLS Data Co-op that stays. So this you can always use. You have Realtor.com that you can always use. Remind is another MLS option. But in today's class, we're really going to be focusing on Matrix. As I scroll down, you also have tutorials and information. Do you know the area that you currently cover as a Miami member? Right? We want to go through the different counties that you cover. What is your territory? So it's a big territory, but you can easily find property that's located in St. Lucie, Martin, Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami. This is your territory. Anything outside of this area, you might have to search in another MLS, which I'm going to show you where you can access that. But this is your current territory. We do share data with 2 other partners. So we want to be aware of that information. Scrolling down, you also have field definitions that I always like to let you know about. If you're ever inputting a property as a new listing, good morning, welcome. We do have field definitions that are available for you. If you're ever going to be inputting a listing, this is a great resource, only because each listing type has its own inputs, and this is going to help you define what the MLS means when you're inputting that information. So we're going to give it a click to preview. These are all of your different MLS types. We do go over inputting an MLS inside of the class matrix 401. So tapping onto single family RE1, this is your field definition. It'll give you exactly what each means. Okay, so great reference for you guys. You don't have to remember everything that I'm showing you. I just want you to know where to be able to find it. Towards the bottom of this page, we want to let you know that you do have help and tech support. Your trainers are available. So I am one of your Miami trainers. My name is Christy Denny's. If you've never taken a class with me before, my email address, I like to share it always in class. It's christy@miamire.com. My coworkers and I also have another email address that's trainers@miamire.com. We are going to share that information. And you can contact us with any question, but CoreLogic also assists you. We do have a helpline. That MLS line is 888-825-5472, and that's available right on this MLS page. They're going to be available from 8:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the evening on the weekends until 3 p.m. Now that we've gone over this resource, another little area that I want to talk to you about before we jump in is going to be our calendar. So under education, you have access to our online calendar that updates on a monthly basis. I did want to show you that you are able to search events on this top field. So if you are interested in a specific class, this is a great place where you can start. I did want to go ahead and give you a glimpse. We're going to search for Matrix, for example. Matrix is a 5-part series, so we're going to type in Matrix and click on Find Events. What this will do is that it'll clear the calendar of any of the classes that are not the Matrix classes. So you don't have to go day by day, one by one, looking for Matrix. You can simply tap onto Matrix and preview all of the classes. So today is the 22nd. We would scroll here on the 22nd. This is 201. We have Matrix inside of our market stat class. So it'll also link classes that also include the system that you're interested in. So this is a great way for you to get familiar with all things and all of the trainings that you need. Aside from your calendar and an easy tip for you to be able to find classes, I also want to show you something called the service page. There's many products and services that are associated with your membership. So I wanted to show you that on miamirealtor.com, you have a space bar or a search bar up at the top. This search bar will allow you to look up something that you're interested in, a product, a service that you want information on. So for example, a really popular program is Agent 3000. This is a marketing program. If you hear about a marketing program or something that you want to look up, you can simply search for it, Agent 3000. Okay, and it's going to give you a few options. You're going to be able to see a service page up at the top. And then it's going to give you a list of upcoming classes that are associated with that program. Now, when you click on Agent 3000, what you'll get is a service page. These service pages have been created for all of your programs. In each service page, you'll have an idea of a commercial. What is it? You'll have fast access. How do I get it? You'll have webinars and tutorials. How do I use it? You have a support number on all of these pages. So you'll have who can help me. And then towards the middle, what's in it for me? Why should I use it? So whenever you come across a product or a service that you're interested in, this is a great way for you to determine if you want to put energy into learning this program. Scrolling down, you'll have any integrations that are available with it, and then testimonials are always listed. Get familiar with this icon. This is free from Miami. This means that that program or that service is part of your membership. Right? So most of that program is already included in what you pay for your membership. All right. Moving back into our homepage, we had started on Miami Gateway. You want to give this a quick click, and that's going to take us onto our single sign-on page. Our single sign-on page is available here. This means that you have multiple products and services that you have access to once you log in. So let's take the time to put in our username and our password. Let me know in class if you guys are all logged in. Let me know in the chat if you guys have logged into your Miami Gateway. Are you guys good? Good morning. If you've never logged in before, your login is going to be, wherever there's a chair. If you've never logged in before, ever. It's going to be your username is going to be your license number, and then whatever you created as your password. You can find your license number on myfloridalicense.com. Excellent. Good morning. As you guys log on, I'm going to go over some of the features inside of the gateway. Happy that you guys are logging on. So as we log on, I want you guys to know that you can always follow along and preview this class. We have Miami Realtors Live that's available here. This means you can rewatch all of the classes. They've already been recorded for you. Sometimes your schedules are not going to sync in with the live classes, so you can always come in and rewatch the class. Did you have a question?
Yes. What's the Wi-Fi?
What is the Wi-Fi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1.
All the way to 9.
And then 1 again.
Oh, okay.
So very secure.
Perfectly. Are we using our laptops?
You are free to use your laptops, or you can use the computers in front of you. If you need to plug in, you can only plug in at the back. Please do not unplug anything, or it'll unplug all of the things.
You said the password is also better.
No,
Whatever.
your password is whatever you made your password that day. But if you've never logged in before, then it will. All right, guys, so on to the Miami Gateway. We did talk about Miami Realtors Live. This is a place that you can go to rewatch any of our classes. We also like to show you that we have a YouTube channel. So for any of you that are YouTube users, you have youtube.com/Miami Trainers. You can search any of the classes. We do have a playlist or multiple playlists that have been created. We also have a search that's available on the right-hand side. You have a looking glass that you can use and search whatever you'd like. A popular program is Form Simplicity. So we're going to do a quick search, and all of the newest information will be up at the top.
I had a question on that. So I watched Matrix 101. I went in here. I tried doing the live one, and then I ended up doing the YouTube one. I went Matrix 101. I wanted to watch that one before coming here. And when I did that, like it's not in order of when it was done. And the videos that I found were like 3, 4 years old. So it didn't look the same. Can I search it by like most recent? Because it's not updated, or that's just what we have.
Well, when I inputted Matrix, your latest Matrix was 1 year ago. So what you said is true. We had a question for those of you that are inside of the chat about how it is that you can search for classes and find the most recent classes. So the trainers have gone in and we have updated the playlist. So there's nothing older than a year. Anything where the criteria or the system has changed, we have removed. So even if it's a few months old or a year old, not 5, but a year old, that's how we have it now, should be fine for your class. Because if there's any major changes to the system, we'll update the system.
Yeah, like the change was the help button. It wasn't on here anymore.
Mhm.
It was in the scroll down. And I'm like, I waste a lot of time trying to figure out which one.
Where
So
it
I gotta
was.
see when that's not the one I watched.
So we inputted Matrix, and then you can always find if there is a playlist. So if you were to tap into a playlist, these are multiples. You can preview, and each one of them is going to have their date. So all of the newer ones, when you scroll down, are towards the bottom of the playlist. So any of you that are YouTube users, we do have it available for you. I'm very happy that you were able to access it and that you were using it. So moving back into our Miami Gateway, in today's class, we're going to be focusing on Matrix. We do want to let you know that you do have a Matrix Learning Lab right next to that Matrix icon. So if you've never popped in here, we want to click on here and give it a look. This is your Learning Lab. So up at the top, you'll have access to Matrix. You can click to directly learn about Matrix, One Home, which is your customer portal. This is where all of your customers are receiving the listings that you're sending them. You have a resource library. This is additional information on all products and services inside of Matrix. You have One Home marketing material. So if you need to market that customer portal or make your customer a little bit more comfortable with the portal that they're using, this is a great start, the One Home marketing material. You'll have access to events and support from Matrix. As we scroll through here, you have the opportunity to win badges as you go through the tutorials. So of course, your Miami trainers are competitive. I'm up to Matrix user and currently watching 3 at a time. But you do have the ability to build onto the leadership board, and you also have the ability to win badges as you go through the content. What Matrix has done is they've created short tutorials. They're no more than 6 minutes so that you can learn exactly what you want to do based on that small feature.
Do you
So
recommend these?
I do. It's bite-sized information that you can learn. They're a few minutes long, and it's a good way if you wake up in the morning, you want to build your business, build your skills, jump on in there. Scrolling down, it is going to show you your activity. So everything that you're currently working on and everything that you've already completed will be available. Featured content will be based on what you've watched. The system will send you over new things that you should focus on. Scrolling down to your Get Started, this is a great place where you can choose what you want to learn about. You can learn about Matrix as a whole, One Home, which is the customer portal, or Matrix 360, which is another way of doing a CMA, comparative market analysis. We do go over the CMA in Matrix 301. All right, so get in there, get curious about that. And that is right on your gateway where you have Matrix Learning Lab. Right next to it, you have access to MLS Help, which is the same numbers that I showed you earlier. And you also have an Add and Edit button. So you can either go through Matrix or you can click on this button to add in a listing. For those of you who are Rapatoni users, you would always go through the Add Edit button to input a listing. All right. We have arrived. Let's go ahead and click on Matrix. In Matrix 101, what we did was a lot of setup. So let me know inside of the chat how many of you have already taken Matrix 101. And then, of course, those of you in person who has taken Matrix 101. I got one. Okay. Okay, so we have 1.5. Let's see how the chat's doing. And we've got 1. All right. So many of us have jumped directly into 201. So since today is a little bit more of a longer class, I'll do a quick overview of what we go over in 101. So we all feel comfortable going into 201. So in 101, what we did is we previewed and we reviewed everything that you have available on your dashboard. So this is your main page. This is called a dashboard, and you have many menus that are available. It can look a little overwhelming when you first look at it. So up at the top, you have a floating bar where you have access to all things associated with your matrix. This is going to be all of your information, your contacts, your auto emails, your saved searches, all of the work that you do inside of Matrix, you can find it under My Matrix. Your search, these are going to be all of the property types, and this is going to be step one when you are searching for a listing. So the first thing you want to know is what kind of property does my customer want to search for or want to buy or sell before you move forward. All of the ones that you have available is your single family one, your single family home. That's referred to as an RE1. You also have an RE2. This is going to be your townhome, your villa, your condos. Those are your RE2s. You have your residential income. This is your duplex, triplex, fourplex. That's that kind of search. You have residential land, boat and docks, residential rentals. So rentals has their own category when you're searching. You also have lands, right? For business, for commercial, for agricultural, for industrial will all be available under the CLD lands. You also have commercial improved or industrial. So that means that it's not just the land, but it also has the building and the structure on the top. So your beauty salons, your daycares, right? Your gas stations, your restaurants. You have your business opportunities. This is just the business. And you also have available cross property. The cross property is the ability for you to search multiple property types at once. So if you wanted to search for single families, residential incomes, rentals, and all of them at once, you can using cross property. Why would you do that? For a picture or an overview of the market altogether. Investors like that. I also like cross property for advertising. As we continue to scroll, you also have a quick reference so that you're able to search quickly using an MLS number. Rental base is a completely new feature that we're not going to go over today. We do have a rental class. You can search for open houses, public records, and if you're searching outside of our service area, you can use search other MLSs. You can find agents and you can find offices. So if you ever have an issue with an agent, you need to contact them. You can search by their first name, their last name. That means they can find you too. And they can also search for your brokerage. So if you need to communicate with an office, you can search by office, either number, address, or name. All right, statistics. This is where we have all of our stats. Realist and IMAP are your tax services. Links are associated with different links in the industry that you can explore. Finance, you have financial calculators here that you can use. Under add or edit, this is where you add or edit new listings. We go over this in Matrix 401. Market reports and stats. These are statistics. We go over this in 301 and we have a stats class. Why would you use stats? To help you build trust with a customer. You always want to give not an opinion, but a statistic, right? Or a report. Under your name, you have a drop down and it has an additional menu. In this section, you have a help section that we talked about in 101. There's another setup that you want to do. So clicking on settings will give you access to creating that setup. In 101, for those of you, which is most of you who did not take it, I want you to get started after class here. You can do it during break, you can do it after class, but my information is your branding. You want to take the time to do this. Most agents do it once, forget about it forever. Don't be that agent. Look over it and update it frequently. So under my information, you're going to put in all of your details. You're going to input your header and your footer. You're going to do your CMA cover page, your email signature, and your agent website, and your one home portal.
You got there where settings?
So inside of the drop-down arrow, you're going to click on settings. And when you click on settings, you're going to click on my information. And we're going to take the time to manage your personal branding and your options. You do not have time. The mandatory ones that I want you guys to do is going to be my information, the first tab, because this information will syndicate to the others. You're going to do your header and footer, your cover page, well, header, footer, email signature, and one home portal. So if you are very, very busy, at least do those three for me, please. All right. Aside from being able to create those brandings, we also do a portal notification setting in 101 that's really important. whenever you send out email to a customer, the system can give you a notification if they've actually opened your email. So if you are sending a whole bunch of email to somebody who is not opening it, you know, what's the use in sending them the properties? This is a great way so that you can have insight into what's happening inside of that portal. So you want to make sure to click on here. And these are all of the different notifications that you can receive.
How do you get into that?
So how we reached this page was clicking on our drop-down arrow. We're going to click on settings, and then we clicked on portal notifications where the bell is. From here, we're deciding what kind of notifications you want to receive and how you want to receive them, whether it's going to be through email or text. I always like to know when they're inside of their portal. I like to know when they add a note, and I like to know when they went to the portal the first time. So if they haven't been into the portal the first time, I know that I need to call them, make sure that I have their right email address, make sure that if they have any questions, we know. And if they're adding a note, guys, that means they're trying to communicate with you, and you want to receive that as soon as possible so you can communicate back. Customers want follow-up immediately. Think of yourselves and how you want somebody to do business with you, right? So from here, how do you do this? You're going to tap on this line. It's a link that says click here to edit your cellular information. Once you click on it, it's going to open up the mobile phone number. You're going to add in your cell phone number, and then you're going to choose your provider. We're going to give you guys a minute to do that. And then you're going to tap on save. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you have any questions so far. Let me know in class if you guys are all okay.
I have fun listening to someone, and I encourage them to save it and write notes on it so I can interact with them. And when they tried to do it, they said they couldn't, but they had to create an account.
They do.
I had no idea what to do. And I said, I'm telling them, yeah, do this. Are you going to cover that?
We are going to cover that. And somebody had a great question. She sent out a listing to a customer, and they had a little bit of difficulty accessing it. And the system goes ahead and tells your customer that they need to create an account. So the best way for you guys to always know what's going to happen when it comes to technology, create your own accounts, create an account, send yourself some property, and see what that looks like so that you guys can go through those steps. So when your customer has a question, you know how to answer. So that's going to be step one for us. We're going to create a contact. It's going to be you, so that when you send yourself property, that's what the consumer is going to go through. Okay. All right, guys, moving on. Back into my matrix. We did cover quite a lot. Inside, or as I hover over search, this is where we would begin our search. But what we're going to do is we're going to hover over my matrix. We're going to click on contacts, and we're going to make sure that we add ourselves as a contact. This should be step one when you're working with any customer. What we have heard again and again from top producers and agents in the industry is that what they have regretted most is not being on top of their contacts, not making sure that they have all of their contacts in one place. Because your first few years, you're really kind of dropping seeds. You're creating opportunities. So tapping on the add button on the top right-hand corner, you'll have the ability to add the first name, last name, and email address. So do not add the email address associated with your account.
This is for customer.
This is for customer. This is how you add in a contact. So whenever you have a new customer, the mandatory fields are going to be the yellow fields: first name, last name, email address. What was your question?
You did say add ourselves.
But I did mention that we want to add ourselves as a customer so that when we do a practice of sending property, we know what that experience is going to be like.
But not to put our email address, you said?
You want to put your email address, but not the email address associated with your account. If you can.
But if, for example, I want to send it to myself.
You're going to send property to yourself so that you see.
Pick another email.
Another email.
Yeah.
If you have a question, I see somebody has their hand up. You can unmic yourself or unmute yourself and ask me. As you guys input your contact, I do want to let you know that you want to make sure that you add a form of communication with them, whether that's a cell phone number or a phone number. You also have the ability to add them into a category, whether that's going to be a seller, a friend, a prospect. If you wanted to create your own categories, there's a plus sign on the right-hand side, and it opens up additional fields. You can simply choose an empty field and give it a category, or you can remove one of the categories that's not in use and input something new. This is a great way for you to keep your contacts organized.
This is extra than any other brokerage system. This is extra that this is separate from any brokerage system, like, for example, Caleb Williams has comment and we put the contact over there. But this goes direct to metrics.
So when it comes to your brokerages in some cases can provide for you a customer management system. This is where you would input your contacts. But remember that your contacts inside of your brokerage belong to who? Right. So this is a great way for you to make sure that your contacts are mobile with you, right? So inside of Matrix, you can take them with you. So you want to make sure that you're using the tools provided by your brokerage. But as a tip, you also have available Matrix to input those contacts. So we have a question about how I reached here, and that's perfectly fine. How we reached here was we hovered over my Matrix and we clicked on contacts. Once you click on contacts, you're going to add and click on that add button, and you're able to input the first name, last name, and email address. And what we're doing today is we're adding ourselves so that we are able to do an example. Now, if you wanted to do a bulk ad, you can up at the top. If I click on this drop down, there's an import button. So you're able to import your contacts using a CSV file. And I also wanted to let you know that you're also able to toggle. So if you click on this small button, depending on how visual you are, you can look at it in small cards. And when you look at the small cards, you're able to see the favorites, the notes, and what they have discarded, right? You have the icons towards the bottom, so it's more visual. But if you click on here again, and you simply move your eyes to the right-hand corner, you're able to see it. So you can always log into your system and preview all of the activity from your customer, but we've taken that extra step, but we don't have to do that. We'll receive it directly to our cell phone or our email. Now that we've inputted a customer, let's go ahead and do a practice search. So clicking on the search, we're going to click on RE1, RE2. And the first thing that we want to do is select an active property. We're going to do single family. Type of property is going to be single. I'm going to look for property that is 500,000 or less. And I'm going to select a city, right? So I'm going to select Advertise. All right, we have 9 matches. So what we reviewed in Matrix 101 is what we're currently looking at right now. We selected our criteria. You can look at this in kind of 3 grids, right? You have the status of the property on the left and the type of property with the waterfront and the amenities. In the middle, all of the features in the middle of this grid are just location-based. Different ways of how you can find a property. You can find it through a map, which we're going to do, the direct address. You can search by an area, by a county. You can search by a zip code, right? You can search by a complex name. Complex name is for buildings. When you're looking for a neighborhood, you're looking for a subdivision, which is right here, your subdivision name. You don't know if it's a building or complex, or for the subdivision, your customer just gave you a name, search under subdivision, development, complex, or legal name. Okay, so if you don't know and they're just like, I want to live at the Palms, and you're like, what the hell is the Palms? Search here and you can do some research on that. Did you have a question?
Yeah, when it kind of accurate, like put zip code, palms, map, but if I put a lot of information, is that gonna be a problem? Or should I just stick to the map?
So somebody had a great question about layering their filters, right? So how much information to input when they're searching. Right now, we have a low inventory market. What does that mean? That means we don't have a lot of property available at this time. So what you want to do is put in the minimum amount possible, because there is such little inventory that you don't want to miss that information. But if you ended up searching the county and the zip code, if that zip code is in the right county that you picked, you'll get those results. But if you layer like that, if you make a mistake, you'll zero out. So less is more. So you want to do less. So pick one, either the subdivision. I would do the subdivision with the zip code because it anchors the name. Okay, great question.
I have a question. Sometimes when we put the address, it doesn't show anything. Sometimes if I put just the number and not southeast or southwest or something like that, with the rest, then it shows something as the.
Yeah, so you want to do less is more. All right, guys. So what we're looking at on the right hand is going to be all of the needs of your customer. So you're looking at price, MLS number, bedrooms, and baths. What I want to show you that you can do here is you have a minus and a plus sign that you can use in order for you to make sure that you get the most results. Now, if your customer says, my budget is 500,000. If I input into the system 500,000, I have one match on the bottom left-hand corner. Now, if I put the minus sign, I now have 9 matches. Why? I'm now telling the system, find me properties that are under 500,000. My customer's budget is 500,000, and anything under that would work. Now, if I wanted to do a range, 500,000 to 750,000, now I have 28 matches. And that's another way that you can search. You can do a range, or you can do a budget and anything under. You can also do 500,000 or more with a plus sign. Now I have 41 matches. So that's a tip that you can use in order for you not to lose potential results. Now, when it comes to the bedrooms or the baths, you have 2 bedrooms, for example. So I'm going to do a 3-2. Cookie cutter home, excellent for a family, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Now, another option that I have, now that I've inputted bedrooms and baths, we have less matches, we have 5. So another option you can do is you can do 3 or more, right? See if you have anything, and 2 or more. So at this time, I now have 6, and it's because I added an additional bathroom. I did 2 or more. Would a customer be mad if I was under budget or at budget and added additional bathroom? Doubtful. And it gives you more results. So you want to make sure to go 3 or more, 2 or more for bedrooms and baths, and then their budget and down if you can. Okay, that'll be a great way for you to create more results. So towards the bottom, I want you to be aware of something called additional fields. This is a great way for you to add additional features that these customers are looking for that are not part of your initial grid. In order for you to do that, you're going to click on add or remove. And that's going to give you a list of all of the available fields under the RE1, RE2 search.
Say that again.
So under additional fields, this is where you're able to find additional fields that you can search for a customer. So for example, let's say you're looking for a fence, right? Your customer wants a fence. This is considered an exterior feature. So you would input in your search, exterior feature, you would select it and you would tap on add. Once you tap on add, exterior feature is going to move over into your selected fields and it will always be part of your search. You don't have to save it. You can simply tap on back and it will populate towards the bottom. I wanted to show you some of the ones that I have added to my search. I added the REO. The REO, that is a foreclosure property. So if you're interested, your customer is not interested in searching an REO, you can input this information and then I would search. I would click yes or no, right? So in this search, I'm going to put no. I still have my same 6 matches. I also add HOPA, Housing of Older Persons Act. If you want to search for communities that are over 55, then HOPA is what you would select. If you want to make sure not to input this information, then you can simply click on no HOPA. Okay. Moving down, you have OK to advertise. If I have time today, we will be talking about OK advertise. I like to talk about it in every single one of my classes because this is a great way that you can advertise listings when you don't have a listing, okay, to make sure that you are marketing property. Internet remarks, this is for you to be able to search based on the inputs of other agents for specific things. Like, let's say you're looking for a TLC, right? Or a handyman special. Moving down, you have floor description, excellent for those customers that just don't want carpet. Moving down, you have your exterior features. I like to add this because people want, I want a fruit tree, I want a fence, I want a patio, I want a porch. That's all available here.
How do you have all those broken down? Like, I have this in my computer too, when there are additional fields. Unless I press add, I see nothing.
So once you add them, you have to add one by one. And once you add them, they'll be available and they'll be part of your screen forever. Now, how do I take them off? Under add or remove, you can tap on maybe something you're not using. So showing instructions, you can either choose to move them up or down. You can change the order, or you can tap to remove that information, right? Pet description, move that information. So I'm tapping on back, and these are your associated fields. All right, so from here, we're going to click on results, and this is going to give you access to all of your different properties that we have searched and found under this search. Towards the top, be aware that this is the criteria that we're using. We're using an RE1, RE2 feature for active single family homes that are under 500,000 with 3 or more bedrooms, 2 or more baths in the city of Pembroke Pines. This is a reminder of what you're looking for. On the top right-hand corner, I also want to show you that you have recent searches. So whatever you're searching that day, you can tap on here, and your last few searches are available for you to preview, okay? You're also looking at a result grid, and what you have available on your result grid is images of the property. So you can simply tap through here without having to click on the MLS. You have history, right? And that history is only of what's happening inside of Matrix. So if they've changed the price, how many days it's on the market, if it's changed status, it'll be available here. Clicking on the MLS number will give you access to the full MLS page. If you want to get back to your results grid, you can tap on Agent Single Line Display. This will take you back to all of your results. Okay, so you can toggle from one to another. You also have the ability to see the subdivision or complex. So where is this property located? You can see the list price, that's LP, and then SP is blank. Why? Because this is the sales price. That'll be filled out when the property closes, and we're currently looking at active properties. If I scroll or move the bar towards the bottom, you'll have access to the bedrooms and the full baths. HB is your half baths. You also have your square feet living area. Living area is under the AC. Okay, so your garage does not count. Your patio does not count. That's under AC. The type of property that you're searching for, the year that it was built, the number of spaces in the garage, if it has a pool, if it's waterfront, or if it's attached or detached to another property. And then you have your lot size. You also have additional icons that are linked here. This is your tax services. What would you do with tax services, right? You can verify information about the property, about the structure, who the owner is, contact information can be pulled from tax roll services. You also can find neighborhood demographics about that property. Showing Lee and showing time, these are showing systems. So how is it that I would ask to see a property, schedule an appointment? So depending on what the listing agent chose, they chose either showing time or showing Lee. You also have virtual tours that are synced. Now, what can I do with this page? You're able to click on the top, subdivision and complex. I can click on that, and that's going to put it in order for me, right? So I'm able to see it based on subdivision information name. If I want to do it by price, you can click on listing price and do the same, right? So from least to most, from most to least, it's up to you. You can do the same for bedrooms, baths, and with square feet, for example. Now, let's say what you want is you want the square feet next to the listing price. You can go ahead and hover. You're looking for your mouse to do that little crossroad. You're going to click on it and you're going to drag it. So what we're showing you is that this is customizable. Let's say you never use the SP when you're looking at active property, right? It's a waste of space. It's blank. I can click on here and you're able to remove a column. So I can tap on remove column. It's no longer part of my search. If you wanted to add a column, I clicked on any empty space towards the top, and you'll have the ability to remove a column or insert a column. So we recently removed one. Now we're going to go ahead and insert a column. It's going to give you the list of all of the possible inputs inside of a column. You can simply click to preview what it is that you'd like to add, or you can use your search bar and look for what it is that you're looking for. So for example, if I wanted to add in the type of association, I can click on type of association. My search was assoc, and it already gave me some of my options, and I'm going to tap on the button that says apply. And now I know what the other agents have inputted. So homeowners, none. I have it available here. And if I wanted to put it in order based on that, you can, or you can also add the fee, right? So it depends on what it is that you'd like to look for inside of your search grid. I want to show you they're customizable. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to remove this column. If you wanted to save this, you wanted to customize your own grids for your rentals, your sales, your commercial properties, etc. You can always click on this paper and this pencil. You can click on here and you can give it a name, right? So Christie search, for example, name it whatever you want, press enter or save as a copy. Right, so where it says display, you have available all of the different displays that you've created. Anything with the word my is something that I've created. So you can create unlimited amounts of search features. Okay, now everything that you see inside of the criteria, right, anything that you've inputted inside of the criteria works seamlessly with your map. So if I click on map, you're automatically able to see where these properties are located. You're also able to see this map in different ways. So if I tap on where it says map, you're able to see a satellite view, right? And you're able to scroll in, right? And see what area this property is inside of. You're also able to see if it's close to water, if it's close to any busy roads, where is it located, get familiar with this area, this territory. You're able to kind of see if it's part of a subdivision, if it's close to any parks, right? This is a great way for you to research the area before you get started. You can also click on this flag. So any green flag is going to be the property that you are previewing. So clicking on here is going to give me access to the property address, the MLS number, the status, price point, square foot, bedrooms, and baths. I'm also able to choose to view this information inside of the MLS, or I can preview the tax roll information. So for example, if I tap on listing, it's going to take me over to my listing page and I can do further research on here, right? But if I tap back onto the map, I don't lose my spot. Okay. So I'm going to,
Tax, what you're going to see.
this is going to be your tax roll service. So it's going to take you back into the MLS page. And if you're interested in tax roll service information, you have it linked up at the top. You have Realist and you have IMAP, right? And that's how you were to look at tax roll information. Great question. Moving back into the map, and we're still okay. You can choose to select this as one of the properties that you want to interact with. If I were to click on here and I go back into my results and I click on my display, you can see that I've selected this property from the map. So it's very interactive. It's all connected to help you work seamlessly. Another option that I wanted to show you is once you click on a specific property, this menu towards the bottom opens up. So I'm going to unclick it and I'm going to show you that most of these are blanked out. When you click on here, you'll have access to refining your search. What is it to refine? That means anything that I have selected, I can choose to narrow it or discard it. So if I only want to work with what I've selected, I'm going to click on narrow and it's going to move away the other two. If I want my original results back, I'm going to tap on original results. Another option is you can discard, right? So if you wanted to delete these, you can tap on discard and they're deleted. Moving back into actions, we want to talk about saving a search. For those of you who did not come to Matrix 101, saving a search is important. What would you be saving when you save a search? You're saving the criteria. You're saving RE1, RE2, active single family under 500,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Pembroke Pines. You are now saving these properties. You're saving the criteria so that the system can give you brand new properties that become available to you. Okay, so that means that I'm going to click on save, and you have the ability to save a new search. So a new save search. You're going to give it a name. Right, and you have a few options down here. You can save it by tapping on save, and that'll give you the ability to go back into Matrix, click on that search and not have to do the search again. You already did the criteria. Now, if you created this search for a specific customer, you can link this search to that customer. How do you do that? You click on the drop-down arrow and we are selecting ourselves, right? Because we inputted ourselves, so we should be under this drop-down arrow. If you did not create a link or a contact for yourself, you have the ability to create a new contact here. So before you send any property to any customer, you want to make sure that you create them as a contact. So I'm going to sync this to myself. And you also have the ability to enable a favorite search. We'll do this a little later. And I'm going to show you where to find both of those searches when you create them. So tapping on save will save this search. Again, what is it that we are saving when we're saving a search? Criteria, correct. All right, so where can I find my saved searches? When I jump into Matrix, I woke up in the morning. I want to do my Pembroke Pines search. I know I saved it. So under my Matrix, you have saved searches. And from here, you're going to click on my last run and you'll have that property, right? That saved search that you did, Pembroke Pines properties. You can click on here and this will give you the results, tapping on results. And you'll have all of those properties that are available. Another tip here, we assigned it to a customer. So that means that I already know that I sent this customer these 2 properties already. We emailed it on the 8th. So that'll make sure that I'm not constantly sending her over the same property. Okay, I already know what's going on here. Now, aside from that hack, you're also able to select property and you can save it, but we can do an additional layer of service, right? We can have the system run the search and send the property that's new in the market automatically to your customer. What is the benefit of that? That means that you don't have to wake up every morning and search for property that's available in the MLS for that customer. The system's searching for you and the system is sending them the email. That's a benefit because what if the new listing came in last night? This is a very low inventory market. If you can automate a service, that's best. And also it could be that what if you're working with more than one customer, right? You're going to do a search for multiple people every single day. You can, some do, but this is a shortcut that you can use. So once you have clicked on save, instead of clicking on new save search, we're going to click on new auto email. So clicking on new auto email will give you access to clicking on that drop down arrow, clicking on the name that we created, right? And from here, you're going to input a subject. So I'm going to put new properties for your consideration. And you're able to edit or preview your welcome email. So if you like the verbiage here, you can keep it. But if you want to change it, you can change it. It's basically letting your customer know that you have saved a search for them on One Home and that you will be sending them over fresh property as they come in. You also have reoccurring email in the back. Every time that the customer, every time the system receives new property, the system will also send them those properties and it'll come in as a reoccurring email. So if you want to input something here, you can. But if not, the email will just say, hi, the name of your customer, and it'll list the properties available for them. So under signature, we've created our signature in Matrix 101. And as I scroll down, the system is updating or keeping this criteria. Anything that falls into this criteria will be sent. And then we're also able to schedule when you want to send out that email. Do you want to send it out ASAP? ASAP means email will be sent the moment that the property becomes available. That means they can receive more than one email a day. You can send it daily, right? And you can choose to send them all in the morning. That's 8 a.m. in the morning. Or you can choose to send them in the evening. That's 8 p.m.
What's the best way, in the morning or in
The best, somebody had asked what is the best time for your customer to receive an email. The best time is based on the schedule of that customer. Depending if that customer is going to come in the morning, if they want to receive those emails in the morning or in the evening. So you want to ask what's best for them. Right? Everybody's going to be different.
What's reverse prospecting?
Reverse prospecting, we will talk about that today. So for example, we're going to select all in the morning, and then we're going to tap on save. And we have enabled the system to send out once a day in the morning at 8 a.m. all of the properties that are new to the market or have changed, meaning they decreased the price or something like that, will be submitted to that customer. The system is doing the heavy lifting for you. Where can you find these properties or these automated emails? Under My Matrix, you see where it says auto email? You can click on here and you can see any of the automated emails that are going on. We've recently created today's email, right? So you're able to see whether it is active or whether it's been terminated. So we can see that anything that is in green is an email that's going out. We can see who's receiving that email, how it's being scheduled, right? So we had just scheduled one to be sent out daily. And we also see if something's under concierge, which we'll talk about today. and when is the last time that your customer visited the portal, okay? Whether that was yesterday, never, etc. We are going to have this class in Spanish, Erica, this afternoon. So if you wanted to register for this afternoon, that's when we're going to have it in Spanish, and it'll also be available in person. So at 1 p.m., we'll have this class in Spanish. All right, so if I click on this drop-down arrow, you'll have access to the settings and the criteria. So if you wanted to change something about the email address, the email that you are sending, you can. So I'm going to tap on criteria. And let's say my customer went up in price. I'm going to take off the 500,000. I'm going to update it to 650,000. We now have 22 matches, so significantly more matches. And then I'm going to tap on save. The system's going to ask me to go ahead and send out that email, and I can send it out. That's a way that you can change the criteria once you began that search, if anything changes. Now, another option that you can do, let's say you want to turn it off, right? Let's say you've already found a property, you went into contract, and you no longer want to send them any new property because we've already made a decision and we're in the process of transacting. From here, you can tap on your settings. Okay, you can scroll down. You can verify the status is that this is currently running. So I can scroll down and you see where it says disabled. I can tap on here. I've disabled it and now I'm saving it. So now that it's in red, we know that this is off. That email is no longer being sent out. Your customer also has the ability on their end to unsubscribe. Okay. Another option that I wanted to show you, and we're going to do that using the top filter or the top search. Inside of your settings, you have the ability to create something called a concierge service. This means the system will automatically send out those emails and run those searches, but instead of going directly to your customer, they're going to go to you. That means that you can preview what's about to be sent and you can choose the properties to go out. Okay, so if you want to do an additional layer of service, then you can. And how you would do that is you're going to scroll down and you see where it says concierge, you're going to enable it. Okay, so you're going to make sure that this is checked on. Now, aside from being able to be part of concierge service, you will receive notifications inside of Matrix and through your email. Why? If the customer is receiving a concierge email, it is now your responsibility to send out those properties. If you do not approve those properties to be sent out, no properties will be sent out to your customer. So if you want to do the concierge, you make sure to review those details. If you do not have the time to do the concierge, you're better off doing the automatic email. Okay.
What time? Because we don't want to give the customer higher information, but just to see the property and square feet and the price, but not the contact of the other agent or anything like that.
When you use One Home, when you're using your customer portal and you're sending out an email through Matrix, if you are sending out an automatic email, they're going to receive information inside of their One Home portal. And that One Home portal is under your account. And that's why they create a login, because they'll have access to your information. So if they have any questions, it's going to have your details inside of the portal. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, guys. So aside from creating your concierge, I want to show you that when you create your initial first concierge email, this widget will populate. It's going to say concierge on it, and it's going to say 4 listings need to be approved. And you have the ability to click on that customer, preview those listings, and decide whether you want them to be sent out or not. Of course, you're going to do your due diligence. You're going to take a look at the property. I'm not sure what criteria you and your customer have discussed, but you can choose, let's say I'm going to choose these 3. and I'm going to approve those to be sent out. I'm going to select approve selected. The system is letting me know that that property is sending out to my customer. And if I want to deny this one, I'm going to select it and reject this property. So make sure to check your concierge widget and your email address to be able to do that. Now that we are comfortable with the concierge service, sending out automatic emails and more, we're going to talk about our map. So before we do that, it is now 10:30. Class started at 9:30. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a 5-minute break, and then we will come back. Also, if you are in class, any questions that you may have, I will help you. And if you are inside of the chat and you have any questions, please let me know.
I mean, I got a lot of information today.
Specifically, today's class is live now. So for me to have this available for you, it would not be available for you now. But you can go to our Miami Trainers webpage on YouTube, and you can watch it there, or you can go to the icon that I just showed you. And you have all 5 parts.
So when selected,
According to my information, something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, we can go over your account.
those are gone.
I'm okay still. I think, yeah, I have full cups. Thank you. All right, guys, if you are in the chat and if you have any questions, you can let me know during our break.
It's a lot of information, all of them. Because my questions, but I have. One by one.
So far in today's class, we went over your MLS page that you can find. We talked about how you can find classes inside of the calendar. In today's class, we talked about your Matrix Learning Lab. That's on your dashboard where you can go to be able to do little tutorials. In today's class, instead of Matrix, we went over the menu bar on the top and where to start a search, which is your property type. Okay. Oof. In today's class, we went over your menu options on the top, and we talked about how to do a search. We talked about the plus and the minus, how to create an automatic email. We also talked about how to save a search, and we also talked about how to add yourself as a contact. So you want to think about everything that we went over, and then if there's something that you need to review again, you let me know. Same thing for the for everyone inside of Zoom. That's what we've gone over so far. So if you have any questions about that, let me know.
Regarding the map for search,
Mm-hmm.
and
We're going to be talking about the map on the second part of the class. All right, guys. So we are taking a quick look at the One Home. So whenever you send out to your customers an email address through their email address and into their customer portal, whenever you send them properties, this is what that's going to look like. It's going to say their name up at the top. I found you 5 new or updated listings for you to review. And these are the highlights, right? So they're able to preview 3 of them at a glance. They're able to click on view all properties, and this is where your signature goes. So if you don't have a signature inside of the system, that's not going to populate here. So we want to make sure to add that signature so that your branding is part of all of the emails. Now, when they click to view all properties, tapping on this button here, they're going to go into their customer portal. Now, they do not have to write or create an account to preview property. They do not have to. If they want to interact with the property, meaning they want to write you a note, they want to say that it's a favorite, then they do need to create an account. So when they select or when they open up One Home, they'll have access to all of the properties that are available. They're able to like them, unlike them, and they're also able to compare. Towards the top, they're also able to click on this drop-down arrow and they're able to see any of the emails that you have sent them so far. They can also toggle between showing the map or unchecking and just showing the properties. They're also able to sort whether they want to see the newest properties, the highest price, the lowest price, the status, or their property fit score. What is a property fit score? I'm sorry. A property fit score is once they create an account, if you guys have created one, the system will prompt you to answer a few questions. These questions are going to be then sent over to you as the agent to help you with your search. These are just things that you can consider. They are very specific to what they're looking for. The more specific you can get, the better. But again, be lenient with yourself. This is a low inventory market. When they click on any of the properties to preview, they're going to have access to quite a lot of information that was just not available before. Before, inside of a customer portal, all they would receive was the listing, and that is it. Now they're able to preview the pictures in a really clean and big way. They're also able to scroll down and see the list price. They can see the status. This is back on the market. They're also able to see the bedrooms, the baths, the square feet, and the days on market. These are all questions that customers have for you. The fact that the system is doing the heavy lifting is good. You're able to see the remarks. They can compare more than one property. And this is one of my favorite parts from One Home. They're able to give that customer an estimated monthly cost. This is a great tool for them.
What does it mean?
That means that when they purchase the home, the system is going to give them an idea of what it is going to cost them on a monthly basis to own that property.
Including tax?
Including all things, yes. So we're going to click on here, and this is the breakdown of that estimate. Again, it's not a for sure number, it's an estimate, and it includes the mortgage, the property taxes, the home insurance information, HOA fees, and they can input if they'd like, clicking on the drop-down arrow, an estimate for water, gas, internet, electricity to get closer to that estimate for the monthly basis. So if you're working with somebody, this is a great tool to make sure that they know about. As you continue to scroll down, they can see the features of the home, the property details, building details, and other facts and features. To see that information, they would click on that drop-down arrow. And as I continue to scroll down, they even have the schools that are linked to this neighborhood. This is great for you. Why? The school feature inside of Matrix is not a required feature. So if you were just sending them the properties before, in some cases, those schools wouldn't be listed. So this One Home does that help for you. It breaks it down between property school type. It also shows you private schools, and you can see even the grades, right? So quite a lot of information is available here. They also have a planner. So if I tap on planner, for any agent that it's a new agent, this is a great way for you to get familiar with some of the things that they need, some of the things that you need, and some of the things that they could be asking you for. So when it comes to how the customer gets ready, the system prompts them into how to get to know the process. So if you yourself are unfamiliar with the process, this is a great research tool. Know what you can afford, set your home preferences, sell your current home. So if they have any questions on these, if they click on here, they're going to have short articles and they can mark it as complete. So this gives them a sense of control and knowledge about the process. Most of the time as agents, we get wrapped up in making sure that we get everything done and forget to turn around and just let them know step by step what they're doing. So in this area, you're able to preview that information. They can choose between buyer mode and selling mode.
How did you get to the one home, being as yourself?
I got to One Home directly from my email address. So whatever I sent myself, I went directly into One Home. But One Home stands alone. So if you go to onehome.com, that's its own website outside of your portal. And you can go ahead and sign in. Yeah, you can sign in from here. No, with the account that you've created as a One Home consumer. So this is a customer facing. This is a customer facing webpage, onehome.com. So this is fairly new. This launched in October of last year. It is a dividing factor. Most agents love it. Some agents like the old style of just sending over that one listing without the additional information. But the whole idea is your customer is going outside of the properties that you're sending them. They're visiting those other websites. They're going to homes.com, they're going to Zillow.com, they're going to Trulia.com, they're going to Realtor.com. Why not have us as the industry professionals, our own nice, clean website where our customers can go to? All right, so it does have some glitches. We found one today. This is getting better every day, but I am personally a fan of the system. All right.
There was the option compare to what?
They can compare the different properties that you sent them.
Or to the ones that I sent it.
Yep.
Oh.
So they can kind of line them up and it'll compare all of the information. It's a tool for the customer. All right, guys, now jumping back inside of Matrix, let's kind of focus on our map. So we're going to go into our search, our RE1, RE2. You see that I have nothing available at the moment on my grid, but I did want to show you different ways that you can search. And that first option is going to be the map search on the top. Why do I like this? Because you will come into contact with customers that are interested in living by a school, living by their job, living by their mom, whatever. You can input the address, right? So I'm going to input a particular address.
Yeah, there's something custom.
And then that address can be her work address, the school of the kids, their job address, whatever. You're going to click on here when it says, did you meet? When you see that it says map area selected up at the top, then you're able to search around this property. So far, I'm looking at 1/4 mile out, but if I click on that drop down, I can go back and select 1/2 mile, right? I can go out 2 miles, right? Maybe a little bit smaller. Let's do 1 mile. And then the system is looking for all active properties within 1 mile of this address. And I can, how close your customer would want to be to that property. So you're choosing based on how close she wants to be. Within 1 mile, you are probably still in the same school district, right? So you just want to make sure that you communicate with your customer regarding their preferences. And then you can click on the map. And when we click on the map, we have that initial property. And then it's created a radius where we're able to see all of those different properties. And if I click on that satellite, I'm going to move back into map. So it's a little cleaner for me. And I'm able to see within 1 mile all of the properties that are available. Aside from that, we can verify if it's within the school district that she wants. You do have these layers on the top. You can click on these layers and you're able to break down that map. So towards the bottom, you see where it has the schools. You can choose the high school, the middle school, or the elementary school. I'm going to tap on the high school and it's going to break up my map into all of the different boundaries of the schools. So for example, this half of this area belongs to Charles Flanagan High School. And then on the other side, we are part of West Broward High School. We have a little spot, right? If we go out a little bit more, we can get into Silver Lakes. So if it's a specific school they're interested in, this is a great way for you to break down your map and have that information available, right?
If they ask for the house of worship. If they ask instead of the school, they ask for a house of worship, like church or temple or anything like that.
So we can take a look at the different options that we have available. So I'm going to click off the high school. And when it comes to points of interest, you have an area here called points of interest. And if they're interested in living close to religious organizations, you do have that option to select. Now, you see that this is all in red and I'm not able to click on it. It doesn't mean that there's an error. It just means that I'm not close enough. So to use that, you would have to get closer to your map in order for you to use anything in the red. So if I click back on my points of interest, now it's available for you to check off religious organizations, right? So aside from being able to select that, points of interest, let's click back onto our boundaries. You're able to search zip codes. So that means it's going to take my map and it's going to break up my map into zip codes. So if you're interested in searching that way, this is a great way that you can do that. This is very visual. And you can also, if you decided, remove this initial radius and select a form in order for you to map that out. So if I wanted to remove this, if you hover over the main point, you can delete this shape and you can draw using the different shapes on the top. So for example, if I wanted to do a rectangle, I can simply click and pull, and then everything in this zip code can now be available to my search. Now, whatever is selected here, I can go ahead and tap on map, tap on results, and it'll be available for me here, the 15 that we're looking at.
How do you go there?
So all of these forms are available at the top for you to use. You're able to use the rectangle simply by clicking and pulling, right? And whatever shape you would like. Now, let's say that this territory is a territory that they don't want to live in this within the same zip code. You can draw and remove that territory. So in the same way that I've layered both, you can click or hover over this red point and you have the ability to exclude this shape. So then they're in the same zip code that they want, but maybe everything to the left, right, of this particular street, they're not interested in living in. So you're able to layer your shapes and you're able to exclude information. Let me delete this shape. And let's move back into our layers. You do have access to trends regarding this area. So if you're interested in learning what the median sales price is in a particular area, you have the ability to click on median sales price. So more or less, you can take a look at your whole map and get an idea of what things cost. I really like this because it's very visual. You're able to see all of the different zip codes, and towards the bottom, you have an idea of what these properties are going for. So you have everything between 500 to 600,000. The lighter green is 400 to 500,000, right? So if you're looking in a particular area and you're displaying this particular grid, well, I know you're interested in 33330, but right next door, this is a little bit more in line with your budget. Would this be an option for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer?
How do I know how much is that?
This is going to be an average. And towards the bottom, this is going to be the price points.
But that color that you have, 33331, what color is that?
This one?
Yeah.
That's yellow. This is light yellow right here.
And how about the 700 feet to 800 feet? That's yellow.
This is a dark yellow. So it's more like a greenish yellow. Okay. So you do have the key towards the bottom and it gives you an idea of what those price points are for that home.
Can you do the same thing for rental?
Yes, you can. So your map is available for all of your property types. So somebody had asked, can you do the same thing for rentals? And you can, okay? So moving down, you're able to see sales activity. That's also available here. So this is going to give you how many properties are on the market, more or less in a territory. Okay? And you have your different colors with that information, clicking back into the area. You're also able to see the median price per square foot of an area. Okay, so if I were to view that this way, you're able to see the colors towards the bottom and they're lower because it's price per square foot. So this is just different ways that you can learn a particular area inside of your map. Okay, you also have your distressed properties. So if you are interested in searching for foreclosures, you have them available here. Foreclosure information at this time, because of everything that's happened with COVID, we do not have many foreclosures on the market. They're starting to trickle in, but at this time, they are very low, that percentage of foreclosure information. Okay, so let me remove some of these boundaries and parcels that I did.
Instead of the houses, it be condominium.
So if you're interested in condos, that would be a change that you would make inside of your criteria. So for example, if you're interested in a condominium, you would select property type, condo, co-op, villa, and townhome, and then you would take the additional step to select condo.
How do you come with the footage regarding to how much the square feet in that condominium, minimum and a maximum, that give me an idea that this building, the maximum footage is the selling at this point, instead of comparing to.
I understand the question. So we have a question regarding price per square foot and condo details regarding specific condos. A program that you can use is called My Condo Plans, and it is available, and we will discuss it after class. But in this class, we don't necessarily talk about My Condo Plans, but I'll take the time to show you how to use it, okay? No problem. All right, so now that we are aware of quite a few details, we're going to also learn that you can clear your map. So towards the bottom, you see where you have this little eraser, you can clear all search criteria. This is a great option if you are totaling out at 0. If you ever come to a point where you are totaling out at 0, you cannot find anything, clear your map and start again. Clear your search and start again with less criteria. It could be that you clicked on something by accident, or you clicked on something you didn't mean to click on. That is a great way for you to refresh all of the things that you are doing. Now, moving back into our map, I also wanted to let you know that you can jump to a particular area. So where it says jump to address, you can input a specific address, a specific city, or a specific place that you're interested in searching. So you're able to review those details. So for example, if I were to input Pembroke Pines and I press enter on my map, it's automatically going to drop me into that area. Okay, if you want to search for a particular community, that's another option that you can do inside of your map. You also have a drop down that's available here. And if you want to search my current location based on GPS, you have it available to search your current location. And you can also set your default location. So if you're always in Miami and you want to set it as the current location inside of your map, you can from here. Let's do some practices using a different search fields. So we have the RNT. These are your residential rental properties. Most cases, you will, in some cases, this will be the first type of customer that you have, a customer that is interested in a rental. When it comes to rentals, the price point, you'd have to put the entire price in order for you to use it. And I also want you to be aware of these features towards the bottom. So you're going to select the type of property. But moving down, mostly and of high importance is the style of the property. Why? There's a difference between a seasonal property and an annual property. You do not remove the seasonal properties for a family who's interested in renting for a year, for example, or on a long-term basis, then you're going to get a whole bunch of short-term rentals, which are seasonal rentals for 1 or 2 months at a time. So we want to avoid selecting those. So when it comes to style, you want to select anything you can select anything that's seasonal. Right, and once you've selected anything that's seasonal, you can tap on the word not. This will remove any seasonal properties. Now, if you're looking for short-term rentals, then you can put or. So then the system knows, okay, just show me seasonal rentals. So if you're interested in an Airbnb rental, there's no Airbnb feature. So we don't have that, not yet. I don't have an Airbnb, but I do have good information. I have like some insider stuff for you guys, but you didn't hear it from me. So apparently, I don't know if you guys have ever worked with a customer, but there's a difference between the type of loan that you can get when you buy a condo. If you have a condo that does have reserves, so additional monies for repairs and stuff, your customer can have an FHA loan and get approved.
On any condo?
That has reserves. At this time, we're not able to search as a filter for properties that have reserved. We're not able to, but it's coming. So we're easily able to search for condos with reserves. So it will make your lives much easier. Normally, what you would have to do is contact a lender, or this is a tip, you can contact a lender. They can provide you a list. It's not many of the condos that are available for reserves. It's very short in the city of Miami, but we're also creating, or they have put into place, where they're going to create an additional database for homeowner associations. That means that homeowner associations need to be more transparent about quite a lot of information with not only the public, but with us as realtors. So we'll have more access to really important information, especially if you're going to list a property, you need those details. So it should be available, and their first deadline is 2023. So they'll have to have all of that information before, I think it's February 1st. There's an article, and I'll share it with you guys. But this is a great way for you to find short-term rentals or to avoid short-term rentals for families. This is the style. So if you want to search for specific terms, you can. So when you are searching, you go into your additional fields and you select terms, and then you can search how it is that they can purchase that property.
Because some will say like cash only,
Mhm.
and if you're
It gives you time more opportunity too, if they can't close by house, at least if they're FHA, for a condo or a townhouse, and normally won't permit FHA.
So the catch-22 is that a lot of people, a lot of locals will get approved X amount, and it might be enough to buy a condo. They can't get approved because of the type of loan that they have. So now that you can search for reserves, it's a lot easier on the agent to be able to give them, an easy answer of, look, this is what's available, this is not. It'll also give the ability to, let's say you want to do prospecting in that building. If you know that it has a possibility of getting reserves, that's a great way to prospect for potential buyers, potential listings, and a different way to market your property. All right, guys. So aside from,
is there a way to search properties specifically talking about like Miami Beach? After Surfside, a lot of these properties are listed cheap, and once I started looking into why, it's because the assessment is required, and these assessments are like, they kind of tell you, it's to put it in reserves, so they kind of tell you, this is the amount of money that needs for you to put in order for you to be able to buy it. And now what they're doing, a lot of the sellers are forcing the new buyer to
pick up the assessment.
pick up the assessment. so they'll list the price cheap. That's relatively new, that only happened. You know?
So special assessments have always been around. So anytime an association needs to update that building, that special assessment will be part of the bill of anyone who's in that association. Now, how you can search a special assessment specifically, we can go ahead and use a tool I'm going to show you. So inside of our homepage, this is if I can find it, hold on. So inside of MiamiRealtors.com, you see where it says MLS. You're going to tap on here and you'll have access to, scrolling down, all of the different MLS input forms. Now, why do you want to find an MLS input forms? Because these are all the fields that can actually be inputted into a property. So if we're looking for example, a townhome or condo, something, we're going to select the RE2. Now from here on your keyboard, this is a tip. You're going to click on Control and then F. If you have an Apple computer, it'll be Command F. That's going to open up a little window and you can input the word special, for example. So when it comes to special, anything that would come up, it's showing me that it has the word special 3 times inside of this document of 11 pages. And the first special is available under special information. Regarding special information, we see that there's types of disclosures or additional information here, but I don't see the special assessment. So we're going to press enter again, and it's under handyman special. We're going to click special assessment will be available here. So when we now know that there's a special assessment that they can check off, yes or no, we can add it to our additional fields. You can select no, and that'll make sure that there's no special assessment.
So look for something if it's field as a special assessment.
Yes.
That's
So
cool.
this is a way that you can always know
Yeah.
what's available. So for example, remember when I said fence is under exterior features? How would you know that unless you were always in Matrix? This is a way that you can input the word, whatever you're looking for, fence. And then you see fence in 2 places. The first place is under exterior features. I press enter again. The second place is under security.
That was one of my questions.
Okay,
But
so
it's not gonna be, if I want to learn again, is what you said right now, it's not gonna be on YouTube.
yeah, well, we love to say this tip. Connie loves to say this tip. So you'll find it. But you know what? You're right here and we'll do one together, okay? You'll be fine. We'll do it together. That's the benefit of coming in person.
Okay.
All right, so from here, we're gonna be together, I think another hour, me and her.
That's what I
All right, so here we have available a new tip on how you can search. And then if I go back into, let's jump back into Matrix, we did talk about the style, which is really important. And we also talked about the price point that you have to put in the entire price point. Now, when it comes to rentals, there's certain things that you want to add. And I always want to take a second now that we know about your additional fields. When you do a rental, always add pets allowed. Why? Because many people have pets and many tenants don't want pets in their homes. So you want to make sure to not show property to someone who has a little dog or a little cat and they can't actually come in. And when you're looking at property, so at this time we have 97 matches and all I've selected is that I'm looking for active property. Let me clear these. Okay. So I'm looking for active property and we're going to search in the city of, let's do the city of Miami. Okay, I have 1,441. My price point is going to be under 3,500. I now have 554. My bedrooms are going to be 3. That's risky. That's a lot of bedrooms. Rent is crazy right now.
What's the difference between, like, let's say, just doing county, Miami-Dade County, and not putting city, Miami?
So that's going to have a broader horizon. So when you're looking at the county, you're looking at all things Miami-Dade County, the whole county. The city is a significantly smaller area, just looking at Miami.
You have that, is that the map that's for sale that can tell me what city, what's what or whatever?
So when you look inside of your map, when we look inside of our map, you have filters to show you your cities. So you don't have to necessarily buy a map. You see where you have your layers, you have city. So you're able to break down all of the different areas. So if you're unfamiliar with the territory or what's included in that city, you can do it with your map. Okay, and it really helps you getting to know a specific area. So tapping back into that criteria, again, we did 3,500. We did 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I haven't chosen, so I'm going to choose annual, single family annual. I'm down to 23. And if I scroll down and I say pets allowed, yes, I'm down to 16. Okay, so significantly, you do want to make sure that you're aware of your pets allowed. Another one that I wanted to show you is available date. Why? Available date, you want to make sure that the available date is in place, because what if you're sending over a property, your customer needs to move in the next 90 days, but it's currently rented for the next, I don't know, 4 months, and it's not going to be available at this time. So you want to make sure that that property is available for that customer and line them up together.
And this search is assuming that the realtor that's listing it is doing this correct, right?
You always want to keep it in mind that these are inputted by your coworkers. There are other agents. There is human error, and these are inputted by your other agents. Now, I wanted to show you when you click on results and we tap into one of these MLSs, you have this icon here. This is the ability for you to report a data error. So if you see something that is incorrect, you can help us all work together. If you are on the Shire side and you don't want, to put in your name or put in your office or who you are, you don't have to. You can simply tap on this icon and it's going to give you the ability to input what the error is. So for example, I saw one that didn't have compensation. I don't even know how that listed. But if you see an issue, you put in what that issue was, and then you can input how to fix it. And then you can send the error by tapping send error. And this way, all of these, the association will receive the message, communicate with the listing agent, and they can update the information for you. Okay. As new realtors is another sector that I wanted to show you that's available on our MLS page. So sometimes as Miami agents, you are working with other realtors and you could come across some issues. So I wanted to show you a specific page. It's a lot to learn, yes.
MLS is say 50-60% in your commission.
Yeah. We got a master's.
Yeah. I am going to
The best way to learn, you do have a full page that's just about Matrix. So I do want to show you that you have this available for you, everything that's available inside of Matrix, how to access it, their learning library, and you have quick tip videos. You also have a playlist on all things Matrix. So if you want them in order, they're here. On the right-hand side, you have frequently asked questions that are also available inside of Matrix. All of the programs that are situated here are all part of your Matrix integration. So we've talked a lot about the map. We've talked about searching. I want to help you guys kind of set up your main dashboard to help you. So when you click on your dashboard, you have available something called a market watch. Your market watch is looking at all of the activity that's happening inside of Southeast Florida, all of the territory, Miami-Dade, Broward County, Palm, St. Lucie, Martin. You don't work all that area. So the best way to take advantage of the market watch is to customize it to you. So you're going to click on the customize button on the bottom right-hand corner, and you're going to input the city of interest. This is a great start. Now, if you work on a smaller area, like a zip code, you can do that. But I'm going to input the city of Miami as an example. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to tap on save. Now, when I wake up in the morning and I log into Matrix and I look at my market watch, I know that there's 5 properties that are going to hit the market. There's 384 new listings in the last week. There is 93 properties that are back on the market. Whoa. There are 85 properties that they've decreased the price, 112 that they've increased the price, what's active under contract, what's canceled, what's closed, pending, what's temporarily off the market, withdrawn, and what's expired. If 7 days is too much, you can click on that drop down and see what's happening in the last 24 hours. So depending on how big your market is, you can customize that time. So if I am working with expireds, right, and I want to keep up with all of the expireds in my neighborhood, I want to select expireds, and you can.
Expired. Yay.
As long as a property is expired, they're fair game. Okay, so you can click on the top and go into any of the areas that you're interested in. So for example, if you're interested in coming soon, you'll have access to properties that are coming soon. Now let's do.
Has expired?
No, just.
No, if you wanted to look for expired, you would click on that drop down arrow and click on the expired option. Now that we have situated and created our market watch, I want to do something else with you guys. I want to help you create a search of your territory and a favorite search of your territory. So the first thing that we're going to do for a search of active properties in the area that you work. So inside of the chat, guys, can you have, if you have an example of a area that you work, let me know in the chat. A certain city.
Home visit is for pictures. I have this in mind.
It's a marketing tool. Home visit is a marketing tool. Cooper City from James. All right, James. So let's do Cooper City. Let's do a search. Let's do an RE1, RE2 search. We're going to look for active property that are single family available in Cooper City. We're going to scroll down. We're going to select Cooper City, and we have 19 matches. That means that every time that you wake up in the morning, you're able to search Matrix as one of your searches in Cooper City for anything that's active in your territory. So now that we have 19, I'm going to tap on results, and I'm going to tap on save, and I'm going to tap on new save search, and I'm going to input Cooper City active property.
Why then that the next one is auto
Save search. No, we're just doing a save search of your area, your farming area. Okay, so when I tap on save, I didn't assign it to a customer because this isn't for a customer. This is for you. This is so that you are aware of your territory. What is active in your territory? You need to know that. You need to specifically farm an area. Now, from this territory, let's say I want to get real familiar with a certain neighborhood. What I would do is I would tap on my subdivision complex information, and that's going to put all of the properties in order. So what can we see that's happening in this territory? We're able to see where the action is. What's that active neighborhood in this area? From here, I can see that there's Cooper Colony, right? There's Country Glen. There's, what is this? Montera Platte. Now let's say I want to get real comfortable with one of these subdivisions. What I can do is I can select this subdivision information and go back into my matrix, and I'm going to create a hot sheet. Okay. So when I create a hot sheet, I'm able to see the activity that's happening in a subdivision. So from here, I'm going to tap on customize. I'm looking at single family condos, right? So I'm going to tap on add. It's a single family, and I'm going to give it a name. Okay, so it's called Montera Plat. James, are you familiar with Montera Plat? I'm going to tap on save. And from here, we're going to add criteria. So right now we have an empty folder. We're going to click on edit criteria and we're going to get real nosy. So I'm going to select all the change types. I want to know what's coming soon, what's new, what's back on the market, what price has gone down, what's canceled, what's closed. This is my neighborhood. I want to know what's going on. And if there's anything expired right next door, I need to be the one.
If you don't select all, because you want all of them, if you don't select all of them, you just put or, will that still give you everything? Or you have to.
You have to select anything you want. So for example, if I only select one, I'm only going to get what's coming soon. If you want to select more than one thing, you click on control and you click all of the changes you want. But you can get real specific about what you want in this territory. Now, after I selected my change type, I'll do another example for you, James, don't worry. You're going to scroll down and you see where it says subdivision name. You're going to paste the name of Montera Plat. We're going to add 2 little asterisks because it gives you better results. And then we're going to save those changes. Another option that you want is that you can also include the city and that will ground the name. So you can scroll through here. And I am not finding it. There it is, Cooper City. Then I'm going to click on save. And guys, I'm done. I'm going to click on done. Now, anytime that I click on Monterey Plat, I know what's going on in my neighborhood, right? So you have quite a few things that we did. Under my matrix, under saved searches, when I click on my last run, I can get in and I'll have access to any of the properties that are active in Cooper City. So I can wake up in the morning, I know what's available. Aside from knowing what's available, I can click back onto my dashboard and on my hot sheets, not in my city, but in my neighborhood, I can click on Monterey Plats. I know what's available here, what's going on. Aside from being able to know what's going on, I'm going to take it another layer for you and I'm going to do a favorite search. This favorite search is going to be of properties that are available for you to advertise without you having to ask permission. Okay, so this is a great way for you to advertise listings when you do not have listings. So how do I do that? Now we want to get a little broader here. So we're going to select cross property, and that's going to give me access to all of the property types, which will give me more for my buck, right? So I'm going to select cross property. And from here, I'm going to select the city. Okay, so what is the city that we're working on? Cooper City. I'm going to select Cooper City and I have 85 matches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add or remove. And you're going to look for OK to advertise. You're going to select OK to advertise. You're going to tap on add. And when it's moved over to the selected fields, we're going to click on back. Then from here, you have a few options. So if I tap on no, that is no, we're not interested in no. You have yes, attribution required, not required. And we have yes, attribution required. And in Cooper City, I'm sorry, James, we got nothing at this moment that's available. So let us get into another area. James, you got another area for us? Or if we have another area inside of the class. Miami Beach. All right, so we're going to input Miami Beach as a suggestion, and we're going to put yes. So when it comes to yes, attribution not required, you have 64 properties where the broker and the listing agent both said, advertise my listing, it's cool, I'm okay with that, you could do it.
What does it mean? Means that I can be buyer or seller?
You can advertise it. You can.
And how do I do like that? It'll show as if, not it's my listing, but as if I have some listings
So you need a tool to advertise your listings. I'm going to take a quick second. I'm going to show you a tool that you can use to advertise. The first thing I want to show you is where to find them. So the first thing we did was we selected yes, attribution not required. This means you can advertise it and you don't have to give an attribution. What is an attribution? It is credit to the broker. Listings don't belong to you, they belong to the broker. So when it says no attribution required, you don't have to say that. When it says yes, attribution required, there's another 21 matches. But this means for these 21 matches, you need to put somewhere along that advertising. It needs to say courtesy of the name of that brokerage. Now that needs to be as big as the smallest fonts on that flyer. Okay.
To me, I don't think when you're gonna do something like that, you have to have, do you have to have it in writing that you ask them for permission?
No, this is okay to advertise. So they've already agreed inside of Matrix that you can advertise their listing. So I'm going to choose yes, attribution not required. I'm going to look at my results. I'm going to save my results. So I'm going to go to save. I'm going to click on new save search. I'm going to give it a name. Okay to advertise Miami Beach. And then guys, I'm going to enable it as my favorite search. And then I'm going to click on save. Now, why do I make it a favorite search? We learned that you can find your searches under My Matrix, Save Searches. But my favorite searches is a widget inside of your dashboard. Now, with it being available here, okay to advertise Miami Beach, this is in your face. And I'm hoping that if it's in your face, you will advertise more. I'm going to show you another tool that you can use to advertise. This program is called Agent 3000. I'm hoping you guys fall in love with it and come to an okay to advertise class or an Agent 3000 class. So I'm going to show you really quick.
It was a class day at 10.
It's called Agent 3000. We're going to click on here. And then I'm going to show you how you can use this program. Well, an example. Now that I have my favorite searches, I'm going to go into okay to advertise Miami Beach. And we have all of these different properties. So you have the types. I did a cross property. So you're able to do commercial, rentals, residential, RE2s, whatever is available here. So I can click on the type. It's going to put it in order for me. To use this program, the system needs to, the MLS needs to start with an A. So this is a Miami program. I'm going to click on the picture and see if I want to advertise this. I pass. Let's click on the next one. I don't like this black border. I pass. I'm going to click on the third one. I don't like these white lines. If you don't want this boxy look, never take a picture of a property this way, vertical. If you're taking pictures of property, you always want to do horizontal. You also want to tuck yourself into the corner and shoot straight on, not angled, because it's property, it's not a person.
Right.
We don't need to make it look skinny. Okay, so this one looks good, guys. I think these are really nice. I feel comfortable advertising this one. I hope it was 7. Let's click on here. It was not, but I think we're okay with 7. No. Clicking on next will allow you to go to another page. All right, it was this one, I think. We'll do this one, it's fine. All you need to do is select the MLS number, okay? And we're gonna jump into Agent 3000. Now, when you have time and you open up Agent 3000, you're gonna click on this green button and you're going to put in your profile details. Put in your name, your company name, the address of your company, your phone number, and your email. You're gonna click on logo, you're gonna upload your logo, you're gonna upload your photo, and you're done. Tapping on close, and this is the green button on the top. Now let's advertise. Scrolling down, you have the ability to create a web page. So you see where it says single property website? I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to pop the MLS number in it, and I'm going to make 5 websites for that property. I'm going to click here. I'm going to paste it. Remove that space. Give the system a second. We're making 5 websites, guys. Clicking on the name, accepting terms because it is okay to advertise. Accepting I agree. And we've created all of these websites. Now, the ones that I personally like is template 2 and template 2 in black or in white. So let's click on view website and look what we've created. It's nice.
What do you mean create website?
We just made a website. You made a website of that property. You didn't make a flyer, girl. You made a website.
So then we can put it somewhere else?
You can put it on your social media.
Okay.
You can put it on your business page. You can share the link with a friend on WhatsApp. You can send it in an email. Check out this property website.
Like,
It's available.
What is that? Those CRM, so when I use send emails.
Your contact management system.
Yeah.
You can pop it in as a link
Okay.
because up here at the top, you can share this. You made a website.
And
They can look at the pictures. Whoops, hold on. They can look at the different pictures that are available, right? They can scroll down. They have the information about the property, the details. Look, pets, yes. Nice and easy to read. A nice picture, the remarks, amenities in the area, if they inputted it, any exterior features, all of the pictures, and then whose information, guys?
That's so cool.
Your
Yeah.
information.
And let's say
But-
somebody find a courtesy and come back to me.
Yes.
But from that point, where should I go? Because is the owner that I should go, or is the brokerage that I should go and find out? You know what
If
I
a
mean?
customer comes to you based on the advertising that you're doing, I want you to take the name of your customer, go directly to your office and tell your broker to assist you. Since if you don't have experience working with a customer, you don't know the next steps, I can't share that with
Oh,
you.
I see. So I have to go to the broker.
Go to your office or before you get your customer, ask them what your steps should be on processing a potential customer, okay? So from here, you can also see a map that's available for your client that they can preview. And towards the bottom, Agent 3000 still covered us. Okay, they still covered our butts. You see where it says here? Miami Association of Realtors MLS listing courtesy of, it's still there.
Okay. You guys do it for us.
And I didn't do it, Sean did it. Agent 3000 did it for you. So it's covered here in this system. So if you plan on doing these, couldn't you go into Matrix, go back into your criteria
Like your attribute one?
and select both?
Yeah. Because they're doing it for you.
And now you
don't
have
worry about it.
85 matches because the system's doing it for you.
Yeah.
I love these smiles. The in-person smiles are great.
When you say yes at the division and no, what is the difference?
So when you say yes, attribution required, that means that you need to do or give it a certain phrase that says courtesy of and the name of the brokerage.
So how can I put that?
It's doing it for you.
Automatically.
So inside of Agent 3000, when you do a web page, they did it towards the bottom. Miami Association of Realtors, MLS listing courtesy of. Okay. So another option that you can do aside from a website, which I know we all loved, you can see it in the white header. So view the website and you have it available in this style.
It's just the.
It's just the
thing on
border
top.
up at the
Oh, I
top.
see
It's
it.
the same style.
Can you edit what they're saying? Like if you find a typo or something like that, can you edit?
When it comes to the website, you cannot. But if you decide to do a flyer, so let's move into the flyers. You have available here the 1 photo, the 4 photo, the 10 photo. So I'm going to do the 4. I'm going to pop in our MLS number, paste. Give the system a second because it's pulling all of the photos for you. Agree, because we're doing okay to advertise. Then we're going to take the images and you're going to pull them in whatever order that you'd like. If you want to change a photo, you simply drop it in and layer it. And you have the ability to either add your own profile photo or add a QR code. So let's do adding the profile photo. Let's give it a frame. We're going to select the image. And the frame that I'm going to choose is the red and blue. And then I'm going to click on select, scrolling down. And then I'm going to either create a PDF, JPEG, or post to social networks.
So if you have your accounts linked here to your Instagram, Facebook,
So
it'll do it for you?
As long as you have your Facebook open, it'll take you directly to your Facebook, as long as you're logged in. Now, if you decide to post directly to Facebook, what are you doing? You are posting through a link, a live link that's called IDX. You can share property without it having to be okay to advertise. Any property that says yes on the internet. And that's how you have properties on your broker website. That's how you have properties on all of these different websites. On realtor.com.
It says yes.
Yes, on the internet.
Like
Which
as a
most do.
criteria, internet remark? That one?
Internet remark, yes. So as long as that property is on there, then yes, you can share. Because you're sharing on an IDX. It's a little tricky, but as long as you're sharing and it's on a live link, you're good to go. Now, if you're doing a flyer, for example, a JPEG, which is an image, but it's not on a link, you want to do okay to advertise. If you want to boost something, if you want to print something, okay to advertise. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and take a look at the PDF. PDF is excellent if you want to print something out. And then here you have that example of that flyer that I created. Okay, and if you don't like those background colors, you can always change it. You can go back in, select a different one, maybe the light gray and the blue, select, and then instead of a photo, what if we did a QR code? Okay, you can scroll down and let's do a JPEG just so I can show you the variety. From here, you're able to create a QR code. It doesn't have your image, but if you were to select it and hover your camera over that QR code, it'll take you to a full web page. I'm going to take a second, show everyone here in class, and you guys go ahead and hover your cameras over that QR code. Let me know in the chat if you like it. Guys, did you see it in the chat? Perfect. We got some of us in the chat loving it. So Lisette loves it. Karen likes it too. So this is a way that you guys can start advertising. I know you're new to the business and you are taking Matrix 201. So you probably have just started. So another area that I want to show you is going to be inside of miamirealtors.com / I hope you guys have gone new member orientation. There's a page in here that I want you guys to get familiar with. I'm going to scroll down and it is called the Path to Success Real Estate Career, right? So the Path to Success is going to give you how to jumpstart everything. So within your first few months, you should be taking new member orientation with the Code of Ethics that's together. You want to take Matrix 101 and 201. You want to take IMAP. This is a tax roll service, RPR, so that you can send reports to your customers regarding specific property, regarding neighborhood reports, flyers. You can do all this in RPR, demographics. You want to take a form simplicity class. This is for you to be able to contract. right? How do you use that system? How do you use e-sign? How do you send customers their contracts? Showing time. How is it that I can schedule an appointment to view a property? Showing time, if you click through it, it's pretty simple. We have some tips for you, but that's available. Agent 3000, all-in-one marketing. I showed you a peek of all-in-one marketing and Agent 3000. You guys loved it. Please take this class as soon as you can. It's a very good class. Remind Pro. This is a modern MLS. Excellent as an additional MLS option. Excellent for prospecting. So if you want to find new business, MLS Pro does go over how to use this system to do a CMA, prospect, and more. Showing me is another way that you can show property, and the Supra, you should have your Supras. So you want to be able to open up these doors for this customers.
So how did you get into that? You go to.
This is going to be miamirealtors.com/membership. Now the benefit is that our people on Zoom, they get that link right away. So we're going to send that over to you guys. You can click on there and you'll have access to this pathway of success, which is one of my favorite documents. The first 60 days, you want to do Matrix 301. So anyone who is interested in taking 301, we do talk about creating a CMA, a comparative market analysis inside of the system. We also talk about statistics and how to use them, right? Inside of Matrix 301, we also talk about some of the things I did today. So, but we did a lot of the setup that you normally do in 301. We did it today. You also do working with buyers and sellers. So if you see this class, take this class. You see that you have this whole grid of all of these different programs that you have available for.
These classes are in person or actually?
They're going to be a combination of in person and virtual. So you check on the calendar.
Sorry. No. We can review your class again. Is there something that I missed?
We're going to take a second. The class is going to be done at 12. We'll take a quick second. We'll review any questions that any of our in-person have. And for those of you who have joined me through Zoom, you guys have been a fantastic class. Please email me at christy@miamire.com with any of the questions that you may have. And I will be sure to get back to you with all of those questions. I'll either give you a call or we'll go ahead and, yes, you can text me. So I'm going to put my number inside of the chat. 786-491-8018 is my cell phone number. I'm available for you guys. Consider me a resource. If I do not answer right away, it is because I'm with a fresh crop of agents that are learning, but I will get back to you.
It's a special number in English customary is high, which means life.
Nice.
Number 18, and you end up to number 18. It means life.
Nice.
Chris is gonna give a really secret.
To be honest with you, Christy, I am a marketer. I'm new in this business, and I went through a hell with my broker and everything.
So we're going to.
Is brokerage by itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you really take that knowledge. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
The association has many classes that you can take that will help you. We want to do a quick overview. I have another 10 minutes with you guys. So you have miamirealtors.com. We talked about your MLS page. You have access to this. Inside of your gateway, we talked about Miami Realtors Live, where you can find recorded classes. We also talked about the Matrix Learning Lab, where you can learn different tips about all things Matrix related and your customer portal. Inside of Matrix, we talked about quite a lot, guys. So going back into our dashboard, we reviewed all of our icons up at the top. We also did a review on our settings, and we talked about your information, how you're going to set yourselves up, and our portal notifications. Again, this is how you access these two. Going back into my matrix, we did some searches. We did an RE1, RE2 search. We talked about how you can manipulate your criteria, your map, and your results. We also talked about your recent searches and how you can pull them. Aside from your recent searches, we talked about how you can clear your entire map and how you can add additional fields. When it came to your criteria, we talked about that tip where you can do a plus, a minus, or a range. We also talked about under My Matrix where you can access your saved searches, how you can create a saved search, and how you can access your auto emails. Inside of your auto emails, we talked about tapping down into this icon where you can update the criteria. This will allow you to update the criteria that your customer is looking for. And then when it comes to settings, this is how you can turn it off, turn it on, or add the concierge service. When it comes to concierge service, we talked about that you can access concierge service inside of the concierge widget that forms the first time you do a concierge email. We also talked about you receiving notifications from Matrix when you do a concierge service email. We also talked about the fact that if you do not approve these emails, your customer will not receive any property. Aside from that, we also talked about your maps. So clicking on recent searches and tapping onto one of our properties, we talked about the maps and all of the features that it includes regarding the map views that you have, the different shapes that you can draw, how you can pinpoint a specific address, and the different layers that you have available to filter through details. Aside from reviewing that information, inside of Matrix, we were able to customize our market watch, customize a favorite search. We discussed okay to advertise, and we created hot sheets for our neighborhoods of interest. We also learned that inside of Agent 3000, we can do quite a few things. So we learned how to do a single property website using an okay to advertise listing, and we also created a flyer. So it was an absolute pleasure working with you guys. So I have a question from Erica. For new people, you recommend in person, or is it the same? So Erica, you have just done it virtually. So virtually, you will receive all of the same information that we have shared with the in-person team. Since I'm here, I will take an additional 5-6 minutes with them to make sure that everything that they learned. But aside from that, it depends on your style of learning. Is it more convenient for you to stay at home? Do you have time to come in person? It depends on your schedule. Where can you see this training session one more time? So the training sessions are available, Lisette, inside of My Realtors Live, and it's also available inside of our YouTube channel. You guys really like this training. I will do my best to edit it and send it over to you guys, okay? Because it's a class with a lot of questions, so I wouldn't want to put it on our YouTube channel, because when you're looking at a class, you just want to go through everything. But if you guys really like this, I will edit it and, well, I will load it and I'll send it out just to you guys. Okay. So if you want that email, if you want that video, I'm going to leave you my email address. It's Christy@miamire.com. You send me an email, you say I want it, and I will send it over to you.
Can I text it to you?
Send me the email so I have your email too. Have a beautiful day, guys. Thank you, Lisette, for joining. Thank you, Karen. I'm happy you liked the class. Thank you, Michael, for being here, and Conchita. I see you guys. Thank you for coming.
What do you want, like the subject?
I want the class. Real easy. I know what you guys want. If you're like, I want the class, I promise you nobody sends me emails like that. So have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Thank you for being with me, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.